In this video, we're going to talk about cooking and food. First, we're going to talk about the ways of cooking food. Depending on the food, we cook them one way or another. For example, if you're going to put some chicken in the oven, you roast it. You can have roast chicken, roast potatoes, or roast beef, for example. If you put food in hot water in a saucepan, you boil it. You boil pasta or rice, and you can also boil vegetables. If you put food in a frying pan with a bit of oil, you fry food. You can fry vegetables, you can fry sausages, or you can fry bacon, for example. The full English breakfast includes a lot of fried food, like fried bread, fried tomatoes, mushrooms, sausages, bacon, and fried egg. If you put a cake in the oven, you bake it. You don't roast a cake. Baking is usually used for foods like bread, cakes, and pastries, but not for foods like chicken. If you have a barbecue and you put meat on the barbecue, you barbecue it. Barbecue is also a verb. And lastly, if you put food on a grill, like meat, you grill it. But before you cook your food, you need to prepare it. You have to remove the skin of some foods, like potatoes. So you peel the potatoes. If you want to cut some food up, you can chop it into small pieces or chunks, or you can slice it into thin slices. For example, if we're going to have a sandwich, we would slice the cheese into slices, but if we are going to make a cheese board with different types of cheese and bread and grapes, we would chop it up into chunks. If we are having a pizza, we would grate the cheese so that it is in small, thin strips. If you want to add a bit of flavor, you can add salt and pepper and other spices. And that's called seasoning. So people like to season their food before they cook it. If you want to add any extra ingredients, you can add it to recipe, and if you need to move it around in a bowl, then you stir it. Now let's talk about flavors. Some people don't like Indian or Mexican food because they say it's too spicy. That means that it's got a strong, hot flavor. I like spicy food because if it doesn't have a lot of flavor, it's too bland for me. Bland means that it doesn't have any flavor. For example, rice is bland if you don't season it. Lemons are sour. So some people don't like lemonade because they say it is too sour. The opposite of sour is sweet. Strawberries and bananas are sweet foods. But then there's another word that some people don't understand, which is bitter. Bitter isn't the same as sour. Bitter means that it has a sharp, unpleasant taste. For example, dark chocolate, coffee, and mustard are bitter. Beer, grapefruit, and tonic water are also bitter. So it's different to sour. Citrus fruits are sour, like lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruits, and we also have pineapples, green apples, and vinegar. So it's a different flavour. If you have added too much salt to the recipe, it will be salty. Salty means that it has a lot of salt. For example, a lot of crisps are salty. Salty doesn't mean the same as savoury. People always ask, what do you prefer, sweet or savoury food? We don't say, do you prefer sweet or salty food? We say savoury. Savoury basically means that it has a lot of flavour, but not in a sweet way, and it doesn't have to be salty. For example, vegetables are savoury because it's the opposite of sweet. But it doesn't mean that vegetables are salty. Vegetables would be salty if you add salt to them. So be careful with the words savoury and bitter, because they are words that people don't usually understand. If you want to say that something isn't spicy, you can say it is mild. So if you go to an Indian restaurant and you ask for some food, you would ask, is it spicy or is it mild? Then we have some words to talk about texture. Food can be crunchy, like crisps or biscuits, or chewy, like meat. Chewy means that you have to chew it a lot. It can also be smooth and creamy, like a nice cup of coffee, and juicy. So if you have a hamburger and you say that the meat is juicy, it means that it's not dry. When we're talking about temperature of food, we can say that it's hot, cold, warm, which is between hot and cold, frozen or chilled. Chilled means that it has been cooled in a refrigerator. So if a shop is advertising chilled drinks, it means that they have been in the fridge, so they're going to be colder. If we're talking about a food's consistency, we can say that it's thick or thin. They're opposites. And runny. If you make a sauce and it is runny, it means that it's very liquidy. The opposite is firm. And then two other words that we have are mushy and sticky. Mushy means soft. So if you're making a recipe and the vegetables or the peas need to be mushy, you would take a fork and squash them down to make them mushy. And lastly, sticky means that it sticks to your fingers while you're making it. So sometimes when I make bread, the dough is too sticky and it sticks to my hands, so I have to add more flour. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in another video.